And we are here with our first video of 2024. So this video is gonna be a new video because I'm starting a new series, and it's gonna be Mondays with Mechelle. It's definitely gonna be a vibe. You can call it a podcast. My spirit's just guiding me to actually finally start it, because I've been already thinking about it and pre-planning it since like early 2023, but so much has happened, and I also just let my fears and my own anxieties and limiting beliefs and stuff kind of like really hit me hard, and I'm like, at this point I can't do that no more. And if you are also going through that, after you watch my video, or as I'm progressing and creating more videos like this, that it helps build confidence in you to own who you are, and be able to tell your story as well, and even be able to relate to others who may also have similar experiences to you. My first episode to this series is going to be about grief and loss. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I was even ready to even record this topic yet, but honestly, truly, I definitely think it's time. Let's start from the beginning. Start of COVID and prior to COVID, and just leading up through COVID, and now I know a lot of people have lost friends and loved ones and like all that, and it's hard. I don't really feel the need to cry per se, but it feels a little heavy, not gonna lie. But during COVID I did lose my mom, and this past October I lost my dad and everything. Yeah. Grief. Grief is a serious thing, and I would definitely say that my heart goes out to everybody that has lost friends and family members, especially parents, parent figures like grandparents, anyone that took care of you, anybody that has really been there for you. Just people in general that have a big impact on your life. I don't even know where the context of this video is going, because I had everything already mapped out in my mind to know exactly what I was going to say or whatever. But I feel like I always have my best like speeches when it's just literally in the moment. It's not pre-planned. But losing my mom back in 2020, my reaction to it, because it was sudden, it wasn't like something to like, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of anticipation grief. That's what I have experienced with my father, because my father was already older. But as far as my mom, with her, I never really had that bond or that relationship with her, but I always respected her and always had that acceptance, even though there was pain there, but there was a sense of acceptance, because at the very least she made sure that me and my sister were being taken care of by our father at the end of the day. But when she passed away, I was in a different mindset. And one, it was during COVID, and it like everything was shut down. You really couldn't go anywhere. And I was younger. I was in my early 20s, and that was my first really big loss. That was my first really big loss, like actually having someone that I knew that I had some form of a connection with. And even though like I didn't see her every day, I didn't really talk to her all the time, but that's still a parent. That's still somebody that is in like proximity to me. And knowing that they passed away, and knowing that you won't be able to see them again, it hits different. It hits different. And during that time, it really hit really hard. And I've always said this, and I will always continue, I would never wish any of that pain on anybody, because it's really hurtful. And not trying to be emotional. I didn't do my makeup for no reason, but it's okay, because emotions are real, and it's okay to feel your emotions and stuff. But I went on a spiral when she passed, and it wasn't pretty. It definitely wasn't pretty. And I will say, I am thankful. I really am thankful that I had people that were genuinely there for me during that time. But at the same time, I was really battling all my emotions strictly on my own. And one thing I would recommend to anybody that's also going through those experiences, or has been through those experiences, to really be able to have a support system. I definitely am an advocate for support groups. I have been a part of online support groups related to dementia caregivers. It was very helpful, and I definitely recommend looking into Facebook support groups if you can. But I definitely advocate for that, especially if you don't have anyone to really be able to talk to, or feel safe enough to be able to divulge those feelings and emotions. It really hurts your body in a way where it's hard to explain, because there's so many different stages of grief, period. So instead of 7, it's 5. I feel like it's more than 5, but I digress. So the first stage is denial, which is pretty much like, this isn't real, like this isn't real life, this is not happening, like they're not gone. Anger, because and I really feel for people who lose friends and family to violent or very traumatic experiences, because I feel like that hurts so much more. The pain in general, like losing someone, period, I don't want to say it like that. Losing someone in general is painful. But I definitely feel like it's super traumatic if you lose someone to like outside influences that you personally cannot control and everything. And I feel like that anger sets in too, even if like that person was older, or a loved one or a family member, they were sick, and their life just slowly just like was transitioning and everything, and that anger can set in as well, that denial can set in. But at the same time, everybody's different. And one thing I will say is that the stages vary, and the degree of how you feel during these stages also vary. And you have to give yourself grace during these stages of you going through your grieving process. And it's just a lot. Bargaining, pretty much like I don't know, like you're just like, I know you're gone, but can you come back? I don't know how you're gonna come back, but you want them to come back. You don't want to, like, bargaining and denial pretty much go hand in hand in my eyes, because you're in denial, you're like, yo, like you're not gone. And then bargaining is like, no, like I would rather switch places with you. Like you would rather not You would rather them still be living versus you, type of thing. And then depression and acceptance. Depression, I know right now that post holidays, during the holidays, just in general, and then seasonal depression is very, very real. Anxiety, all those things, it all goes hand in hand. But once you get to that stage of acceptance, and it's not even a stage, because like I said, the grieving process is literally like this. Because one day you can accept what happened. 5 hours later, you're angry, you're crying, you're like, you're mentally just like, wait a minute, like, because something may bring up that emotion, or you may hear a song, or you may see something, or you may even look at like a photo or a video of the person that you lost. And I don't even like to say lost, because for real, and I think this also goes into acceptance, you never really lose anybody. You just don't see them in the physical anymore. Like how you looking at me in the physical on the camera, you don't see that person in the physical no more. But if you have pictures, if you have videos, if you just the memory of them, as long as you carry that in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, they're always gonna still be alive. It's just gonna be hurtful, because when you actually want to go to them, or you want to see them physically, and it's like, damn, they're not there, but, and you wish they were there. It does hit different. Best believe it definitely does hit different. And as far as the anticipation grief, because like I said previously, my dad had me much older in life. He had me pretty much at like 60 years old. And to reference that, I just turned 27 years old. And pretty much my entire life, I've been very much like aware. Like the moment I became aware of my surroundings and the fact that my dad was older, and knowing that one day he will pass away, and I do have a younger sister, that I had to take responsibility for her. Even though me and my sister, we're not that far apart in age. We're only like a 2-year difference. But I always knew, and my dad always raised me to be a lot more mature and be able to grow up mentally a lot more faster, because if anything ever did happen, my dad was always big on, always look out for your sister, look out for your family, period, but just always look out for her regardless of whatever happens and stuff. And I'm gonna do that regardless. But I'm thankful he really pushed that, because there was many times where me and her was butting heads, and I think that just comes with life, just childhood and like teenage years into adult years, and then you just get to a point where it's like, why are we fighting? Or or when you think back at situations, you're like, we was fighting for what? Over nothing. It was always something stupid or whatever. But anticipation grief, yeah, is as long as I can. The moment I understood life and death was the moment I was like, I don't want to lose my dad, but I understand that he's getting older. Anticipating a loss and pretty much like internalizing it and going through the motions slowly throughout the years. It's almost in a way of, I don't want to say torture, but it could sometimes feel like torture, but at the same time it's like, okay, you're preparing yourself for something that is going to eventually happen. I didn't even know what it was called until I spoke to somebody else, and they told me, oh, you've been experiencing anticipation grief when it pertained to my dad. And I was like, anticipation grief? And I never, like I said, I never thought about it in that way. I knew that, yes, I was like, I'll have nights where I would cry myself to sleep, because I'm like, I don't want this to be the last time I see him, or just physically, as far as like him breathing and living and all those things. But and it was always that internal fear that I never expressed, and even me expressing it now, really, it really shows a lot about things that I've always internalized, never really spoke about. I only started speaking about it now since my dad transitioned into his new world, where he's not trapped in the body that he was in. His spirit was stronger than his body, and I accepted that. Even though I was already ready to continue with the journey, even when his physical health had changed and declined so much more than before. I was ready. But the reality was, there was no way he was going to be able to have a proper sustaining life if he had continued. And all I can say is, I'm thankful he was my father. And I wish for so many things. And like I said, I hope this video helps somebody that's going through pain and loss in their lives, because there is a bright side to every situation. And I know in the midst of everything, it don't feel that way. You don't want to see it that way, and that's okay. You have to honor your feelings. The most important thing is don't dishonor yourself. Don't dishonor your feelings. Don't dishonor your emotions. And if anybody sits here and tells you, oh, you shouldn't feel your feelings, they're wrong. You have permission from me to tell them to step off. Like, if they're not going to be there to support you and help you through what you're feeling, then they don't need to be in your life. They don't need to even be in your space. But you definitely want to have people in your life that is going to tell you, hey, don't go grab that liquor bottle. Don't go grab those drugs. Don't go and do things that can potentially harm you because you're trying to numb your feelings. Don't do that. Don't do that. And like I said, and I could speak on that as well, because I went to that when my mom passed. But when my dad passed, that wasn't the case. And I'm definitely thankful for, when I mean I'm so thankful. It's something serious. Because if my mindset was the same as back in 2020, I wouldn't be able to have this, I wouldn't be able to talk to y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not be able to logically express this if I had mentally completely checked out and was drinking heavy or doing any substances or just doing things that just, one, isn't me, and two, just to suppress a feeling that is normal when you lose somebody, because you don't want to feel it. You're gonna still feel it. If you drink alcohol and you're upset, you're still gonna be upset. Yeah, you may think you may think you're happy or whatever the case may be, but the reality is you're not. You're not. Because at the end of the evening, you're either gonna be sick, You're gonna be angry, you're gonna be crying, you're gonna still feel your feelings. And I'm not gonna lie, I did like drink maybe like once. It wasn't heavy, but I will say this: liquor, when you're in a bad mood, tastes like water. You don't even taste it. And that's why I'm saying it's dangerous. It's dangerous. So it's better to have a really good support system, or find or connect with a support system that can help you through this journey. And I hope that I can be a support system for you during this journey indirectly, with this video and any of my other videos that I'm gonna be posting on Mondays with Mechelle and everything. But I do want to end the video with this message. My dad got me this necklace, and he bought this like, I want to say maybe either the year before I graduated high school or the year after. It's what it says on the back that really, honestly, is keeping me here, it's keeping me strong, it's keeping me grounded. Oh, another thing, you gotta stay grounded when you're going through grief and loss, because that's the one thing for sure that has helped me through this journey with my dad. But on the back it says, those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day, unseen, unheard, but always near. Still loved, still missed, and very dear. I'm glad that he bought this for me, and it's been keeping me grounded. Spiritually, I've been staying grounded, just knowing and understanding that he transitioned and my mom transitioned, and they're at peace. Especially for my dad, that he's at peace. He's no longer suffering. And I know that he's always looking after me and my sister and everybody else in a from a different standpoint, and I'm very thankful for that. I gained an angel. I had an earth angel, and I gained a angel above, an angel around me, just in general. But yeah, but I do want to thank you guys for watching, and I do hope that this video comes to those who need it, and may my mother and my father and your friends, your family members, whether they're young or if they're old, may they all rest in paradise. See you guys in my next video.